Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Scottish International Police Conference, our 10th anniversary conference. We're really glad to have you here today. I hope those of you that were at the event last night don't have too sore feet if you did lots of dancing. It's the last time I'm ever doing a Flying Scotsman, I can tell you that. So this year's a really special conference for us because it is the 10th anniversary of the conference. It's also 15 years since SIPR started, was established. And over that time, I think we've built up a really strong relationship with our police partners and stakeholders. It was also last night the 50th anniversary of the James Smart Memorial Lecture. And this morning we have a kind of very special lecture, the Nick Fife Lecture. So we're going to start quickly this morning just by doing a couple of awards and prizes. So we decided as part of SIPR that one of the important things for us is really research and the impact that it makes on policing. And that's why we do research. It's about knowledge exchange, but it's also about trying to kind of change things for the better. So it's research with a purpose. So because of our sort of values in relation to research, we thought collectively through SIPR that we would establish an impact award. So this morning we're going to give out the prizes for the Impact Award. I'm going to introduce you to a new colleague to SIPR, who's our new Impact Officer, Dr. Rhonda Wheate from Strathclyde University. So Rhonda, if you'd like to come up and give the prizes. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. This is a bit like the Oscars, but without the violence, I think. So it's my pleasure to be awarding maybe too soon for that sort of joke, but I thought given the audience, you might be okay. It's been my pleasure as the brand new Impact Lead. I've only been in post for about a month, but it's really been my pleasure to work with Denise and with Monica Boyle and James Crane, Alistair Henry and Amy Wilson to look through the 12 applications that were sent in for this new Impact Award. And considering that the award's never been run before, we were surprised and delighted with the quality of what was submitted. And I think it really speaks to SIPR's purpose that, as Denise said, it isn't so much about research, it isn't so much just about knowledge exchange and police and stakeholders talking to academics. It's really about making a difference and having an impact. And so the quality of what we saw in the award submissions really reflected that. Just to give you an idea of the range of things that we were presented with, there were submissions about stop and search policy and practice, improving how calls to the police are assessed, identifying police officers, I really like this one, with extraordinary powers of facial recognition, equipping police with the equipment and training needed to work using mobile devices, which life-saving drugs police ought to carry with them to counter the effect of overdoses, what sorts of things we need to take into account in terms of risk and vulnerability, so the nexus between policing and public health, how to respond best as Police Scotland and other policing agencies to offshore energy incidents. And another really unusual one, which despite having worked in forensics I'd never seen before, was about jewellery and international law enforcement investigations. And so looking at all 12 applications, there were 4 early career research applications and there were 8 general impact proposals. The kinds of things that we were looking for in the panel were joint project design. As an academic, I know that all too often we go to external non-academics, as we like to call them, and say, here's what we'd like to do for you. This is what you need. And it isn't what they need at all. And so what we were looking for in these proposals is, as I say, joint project design. So projects that really would help police and stakeholders rather than being just delivered by academics to tell other people what they need. Other things we looked for were a collaborative collegiate approach, dialogue with a wide range of stakeholders, a focus on being fit for purpose and actually doing what you were setting out to achieve, but also being academically rigorous. So it isn't to say that projects that deliver huge impact to police don't need to be academically rigorous. And you'll see from the prize winners today how those two things can be matched. Something that I think we'll emphasise for next year's Impact Awards is to say to applicants that it's really good to be able to see measurable outcomes. And so those applications that could tell us how many incidents there were a year, what percentage of police time is taken up with doing X, Y and Z, and what measurable outcomes were you able to deliver were really valuable in terms of being able to measure the impact. We also were looking for projects that had good follow-up after completion. Again, I have to admit, as academics, all too often we might do the research and publish the paper that somebody might read, maybe. And that's kind of the end of it. We might just move on to the next project. But what we're looking for in these impact awards is to see, once the project's finished, once the impact has been delivered, was it followed up? Could it be extended? Could it be internationalised? And was there a robust evaluation of how well the project actually worked? And so with all of those things in mind, we came up with a runner-up for each category and a winner. And I have to say, towards the end of the panel discussion, we were thinking we really should be a bit more argumentative, but we were in heated agreement for most of the discussion. So I'm sure you'll agree with us that the projects were fabulous, but the runner-up in the Early Career Researcher Impact Award for SIPR 2022 was Dr. Maria McLennan, who did the project on becoming the world's first forensic jeweller, enhancing the awareness of the evidential value of personal property, including in international law enforcement investigations. So I'm sure you'll join with me in congratulating Maria. In terms of the Early Career Researcher Impact Award, we decided this year that the award would go to Dr. Elaine McLaughlin from Glasgow Caledonian University for her work on South Asian immigrant women and domestic abuse in Scotland who have an uncertain legal status and no recourse to public funds. So if Elaine could come down, we have a fabulous trophy to award. So we'll have Elaine just say a few words so that you can get the background to why this prize was awarded.
Oops. Thank you very much. This prize is awarded in relation to my PhD research, where I looked at immigration law and immigration rules and the impact of these rules upon migrant women who enter the country on a spousal visa, whose marriage breaks down during their probationary period, as a consequence of which they have no recourse to public funds. And women in these situations can't access housing or welfare benefits as a consequence of their immigration status. So I was looking at that, and I was looking at it was a socio-legal study, and what was identified that immigration rules impact negatively upon women before they actually migrate to Scotland and after they migrate to Scotland. So I'm very grateful to SIPR to receive this award. From the original PhD, we identified gaps in the research, and we went on to look at the interaction of police officers when called to an incident of domestic abuse with grant funding from SIPR. So we were very grateful from that. That was in response to Police Scotland's 2026 strategy. Police Scotland took on board the findings of the research, and they created a 1-minute animation which is to be circulated at airports and also within police stations to advise foreign nationals that help and support is available to police if they are in a difficult domestic relationship, experience gender-based violence or any form of commercial sexual exploitation. And further to that, again, we are now looking at honour-based violence and honour-based abuse and the impact of multi-perpetrator abuse on women from BME backgrounds who live in joint family systems, who experience domestic abuse not just from an intimate partners or husband, but from other family members within the joint family system and also from community members. This is a real struggle for women on their pathway to safety in terms of the power of family honour and their allegiance to family honour, because women are very much blamed for bringing disrespect to their family and community in the event that they flee or leave a domestic abuse relationship. So I want to thank SIPR for this award. I am privileged to receive it given the considerable research projects that formed the basis of the competition. For me, awards like this are important. They send a message to researchers that their projects are being considered and being listened to by Police Scotland, and this is encouraging for researchers to persevere, particularly when they might be wanting to withdraw or give up, because it can be an isolating and lonely process at times. I would also like to thank my PhD supervisors and everyone involved throughout my PhD journey. A special note of thanks to Chief Superintendent Samantha Faulds, who all roads lead back to with my connection with Police Scotland in this research journey. And finally, a nod to the BME women and the victim survivors of gender-based violence, whose courage and bravery who through their courage and bravery came forward to speak and take part in the research. They wanted Police Scotland to hear about their concerns and act upon them. The positive response of Police Scotland is clearly to be commended, and I'm very honoured and privileged to receive this award. Thank you very much.
And so moving now on to the SIPR inaugural Impact Award overall winner. We first had a runner-up. There was quite a bit of discussion about the order of these awards, but because they were of such high quality. But in the end, we decided as a panel that the runner-up for the overall winner of the Impact Award is the team led by Dr. Peter Hillen, Elizabeth Speakman, Professor Nadine Dougal, Dr. Inga Heyman, Dr. Jennifer Murray, Michelle Jameson, Dr. Liz Aston, and Dr. Andrew McCauley, so a truly collegiate team, who did an enormous and really successful and impactful program on naloxone in Scotland, a pilot evaluation. And so congratulations to them as the runner-up in this award. Again, in terms of the overall winner, it was a team effort, and the winning team in this year was led by Dr. Penny Woolnow from Abertay University, with Graham Gibb from Braemar Mountain Rescue Association, and Professor Louise Armand from the University of Liverpool. And their project was about improving police practice in the investigation and search for missing people. Dr. Woolnow is not able to be here today to accept the award, but I wonder, Monica, I should have checked before we came in this morning. Nesha Dixon from Abertay is here to accept the award and to give us a few words about this excellent project.
Good morning, everyone. Unfortunately, Dr. Penny Woolnow was unable to attend today, but I'm absolutely delighted to be here to accept this award on her behalf and also on behalf of Abertay Missing Persons Research Group as well. And she's asked that I read the following. She said, "Central to our work is the fundamental aim of ensuring that our research has direct, real-world impact. And we take immense pride in the fact that police officers around the UK use our research findings on a daily basis to inform their missing person investigations and search strategies. Born out of an ongoing collaboration with Police Scotland, the impact achieved by this research highlights the benefits of using an evidence-based approach, and that is what sits at the heart of the ethos of both Abertay University and SIPR." Thank you very much.
I promised our next speaker that we wouldn't run over time with the awards, so we're actually a little bit ahead. But it was really just to come on now and to say thank you to everybody who applied for the Impact Award this year. We will run them again next year. And we would encourage everybody, whether you're from Police Scotland or related agencies and stakeholders or researchers in universities, we would really encourage you to think about applying next year. We've kept the application form as simple as possible, so it's a relief from all the usual kinds of applications that you would need to fill out. And we're even interested to see people who applied this year and projects that applied this year applying again next year. if there's been a change in the impact, because often it doesn't happen all at once, and usually the best projects go over quite a long period in terms of what they achieve in real life. And so that concludes my beginning duties in this role. Thank you for your attention, and I'm sure you'll be happy to congratulate all of our winners and runners-up and applicants again. Thank you.